Real estate transactions follow a very common sequence of events. That sequence of events goes from one transaction to another, and there's very little deviation in the order of those events. Reason why I bring this up is that you have an accepted offer on your new home, and you have completed your inspections. Negotiating those inspection items is what is up next. For some people, negotiating inspection items is like this, it's no problem. And other people need more insight into what items they should ask for, what these items mean, what these items are, and what do they do next. In today's video, I'm going to discuss understanding the inspection report, negotiating strategies, common repair requests, tips for successful negotiations, and reaching a resolution. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rochelle Ward, and I am an established real estate agent in the state of Connecticut. I work together with my husband, Bob, and together he and I have represented both buyers and sellers in over 550 real estate transactions. When reviewing the inspection report, I always suggest that you either have the inspector send a copy to your agent, or you, when you receive it, send a copy to your agent. This way you can both review the report independent of one another, and when you come together to discuss it, you will already have a list of your major issues, minor issues, and potential concerns. One thing to keep in mind about inspection requests: most homes are resales. This means it is not a brand new home. In most areas, the home does not need to be brought up to current code. The code applies for the year that the house was built. This is not a brand new home, so you must be realistic in those requests that you're making to the seller. When you speak with your realtor, they will be able to help you to identify the severity of the requests that you're asking for. I always suggest that you categorize them by urgency, necessity, and optional. Next, I would establish a baseline for your negotiation. What are your must-haves? What repair items are non-negotiable for you? And what is most important to you? Once you have identified those items, moving forward with the inspection request becomes a little easier. Negotiation strategies. As in all negotiations, you have two parties who are coming together, and essentially they are on opposing teams. The purpose of the negotiation is to come to a mutually beneficial agreement for both sides. I always recommend to my clients that we create a collaborative tone and that we be mindful of the seller's perspective in these negotiations. Presenting your repair requests. It is important to articulate what the specific requests are. And the manner in which we do that in my area of Connecticut, we take the relevant pages from the inspection report and we highlight those areas on those pages that are important to the buyer, what the buyer is asking the seller to repair. We then put together a cover sheet that goes along with those pages and identify what each of those items are. The object of all of this is to negotiate a win-win outcome. We need to explore compromises such as crediting for repairs or price adjustments to reach a mutually agreeable solution. Sometimes a seller will have these items fixed by a licensed contractor, and you, the buyer, have a right to review those repairs and find them acceptable before you close on the house. Common repair requests and considerations. I have recently posted 2 videos on inspection repairs. Each video contains 5 commonly found inspection items that I'm going to briefly go over in this portion of the video. To watch the videos that I've previously done, I've put links in the comments down below, and I highly suggest that you watch them. So foundation and structural issues sometimes come up, and it is important to address concerns related to cracks, settling, and support beams. Next up are electrical and plumbing issues, inspections for potential hazards, code violations, and outdated components. Roof and HVAC. These are both big ticket items, and during the inspection period, the age of these systems, the condition, and the performance of these critical systems of the house are evaluated. Roofs and HVAC systems can be a point of contention between a buyer and a seller on inspections, especially if those items are getting toward the end of their design life, but they're still working. Here are some tips for successful negotiations. The first one is make sure that your requests are realistic, especially if you're asking for a price reduction. Asking for $50,000 off on the sale price to have GFIs installed in the kitchen and bathrooms is a little excessive. You want to be mindful that the seller's agent has taken into consideration many of the items that you have found as faults in the house. You, when you initially saw the home, most likely saw many of these items, or your agent pointed them out to you. Now is not the time to try to get the seller down really low in their price to the place that you want to be. Number 2 is staying calm and professional. This is an emotional thing to negotiate. Buying a home in general is a stressful time in your life. Now is not the time to let the seller get under your skin or their agent to get under your skin. You have come up with your plan with your agent and try to keep that in sight as you move through this process. You want to seek professional advice, especially if it's a big ticket item. If the roof needs replacing, I suggest calling in a roofer and getting an estimate on repairing the roof. If the home needs to have the electrical service upgraded, have an electrician come in and provide you with a professional estimate on how much this is actually going to cost. Your agent can take these estimates and pass them along to the seller's agent, and this helps to give your claim of value for these items validity and truth, as you have something written from a licensed contractor. Once you have reached a resolution on the inspection request, it is important to commemorate that agreement in writing, and all parties to the transaction must sign the agreement. If the items are not described properly in that written agreement, the seller may have some latitude in how they go about fixing them or what it is that they actually fix. So you want to make sure that that agreement is written correctly and precisely. Once you have the inspection repair items commemorated, you want to make sure that both parties and their attorneys have a copy of that agreement. Now, you need to also understand the importance of deadlines, warranties, and inspections to protect your investment. A home inspection is one of the best things that you can do for yourself as a buyer, because it protects you from having to lay out additional monies that you're not aware of. I hope you have found this video to be helpful. And if you have, please like my video, share it, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again on the next video.